Hi, this is Greg McCoach, editor of the Mining Speculator. I'm here today with CEO Tom Doyle of Aloro Mining Corp. We're here today to discuss what Tom's doing with his new company, and we'll get started by first asking Tom, what's your symbol and what is the shares outstanding?
Okay, the symbol is AORO. So it's a four-letter symbol.
Yep.
There's 46 million shares outstanding. Management currently has just over 50%. We have a new shareholder being a Nico Eagle, who's just purchased 8.7%, and fairly tight structure.
Yeah, and cash on hand?
We have approximately 800,000, but
800,000?
we're in the process of starting to spend it.
Right, because we're active with some exploration and building a road. We got the road going in.
Exactly. We have a fully permitted property. It has the ejido agreement, which is very important
yeah.
because sometimes they're very difficult to get. It's a community agreement which gives us access to the package of land. We have a permit for 12 drill holes or 12 drill pads. You can drill number of holes off the same pad. We permitted a road because we're going to use RC rig, and they need the road access to get into it.
Right. And from a closeology standpoint, I think it's important for everyone that's learning about the company to understand that, you know, you have two major companies right on both sides of you.
Absolutely. Immediately to the south, we have the Venados open pit of Alamos Gold, and Alamos actually covers the eastern border and to our north. To our west is a Nico Eagle, where they have the La India open pit.
Right. And this is an area that I'm familiar with because over the years I've done a lot of site visits in Mexico, and this is just one of those areas that I think has big potential for new discovery. And so you're right in the thick of things, Tom. I really like what you're doing, and I like the ground you have. What are the next steps? What are we going to do here?
Well, actually today the road was started in order to give us access, but that's also a great exploration tool because of this this cap. It's like cutting a big trench right through it, where we can actually uncover mineralization, and we will sample and map that. And we're being followed up a week Monday. We will have the drill rig on site, and we'll start drilling our property.
Okay. And from a mineral standpoint, you know, the rocks, is it similar to the mulattoes, or is it more like
it's the
La
same geological setting as both mulattoes and La India.
Yeah.
You know, this one thing that should be noted is that this is not a single ore body or a single anomaly. This is you know, a district that I happen to be in.
Right.
You know, so I think it's got a lot of potential in that regard.
Yeah, and I love Mexico. It's one of my top jurisdictions. I just love the fact that it's easy to work down there, permitting, you know, ease of operation and getting things done. And so
absolutely. Even in the permit that the property originally had was for a small core hole, and I turned that permit around in 2.5 weeks. They gave me the new permit to have the access road go in and to use the rig, so it wasn't tied up for a long time.
Right. And on this particular project, do we have any existing resource that we could refer to?
The property was never drilled. It was part of the same package that the Mulattoes property was.
Because they intended to drill it. I think that was originally their ground.
No, it was their ground, and back in 2005, somebody wasn't watching the file, and this ground came open. You know, it's not a small property either. It's a total of 3,200 hectares, and geologists jumped on it right away, and you know, he held it for a few years, but never actually drilled it. He optioned it to a group called Almadex, and they've been very successful. And from there, I was able, because of their success and being so busy, they didn't have time to get to it, so I was able to make a deal with them.
And that's how you got it. Yeah,
I mean, on very favorable
these
terms.
Stories are just amazing, how someone like Mulattoes, Alamos Gold, could let this go by mistake, right? I mean, it happens all the time in this industry, but I guess somebody lost their head over this.
Well, it
Alamo.
wasn't actually Alamos at the time,
Was
but
it?
it was a different group.
Different
but
group, yeah.
still, you know, the opportunity presented itself, and I jumped on
You
it.
jumped on it. Well, good for you. So, yeah, this is another one of these stories that, you know, I love in Mexico. I think our odds are increase. In other words, I like to handicap the odds on all these exploration companies we look at and which ones have the higher chance of making the discovery. And based on this trend and mines right next to you, I think your odds are good that you're going to be successful.
Well, you know, you've been around long enough to have the booms in the bus,
Yeah.
and you know, I think that we have good potential, but there's no guarantees.
That's right, and it's all about the drills. The drills always tell the story, and you're taking a systematic approach that I love towards this. There's no hype, there's no nonsense. You're just going about this in a methodological way and
Yes.
going to get the results.
Well, the big thing is, you know, I'm not a geologist myself, but what I've done is surrounded myself with good geologists, like the gentleman that Ken Ballawag that worked
Right.
for Placer Dome and then stayed with the mine and developed that and produced it for, I guess he's been about 20 years down there.
Yep.
And he's actually coming back to consult while we do our drilling program in a week. Also, I have Mel Herdrick, who you know, has had a number of properties right in the area, and they all ended up with an ECOT.
Right. So yeah, in my view, you have the right people looking in the right jurisdiction at the right time. It all seems to be lining up in your favor. Let's let the drills tell us where we go from here.
Certainly.
Tom, it's great to have you.
Thanks very much.